Alright, what do you think? Did I wait long enough? I swear I'm not dragging out my intro as long as possible. I just had shit going on behind the scenes here I had to take care of, so. Happy Wednesday, guys. We are all here. Why did it do that? It should have just gone straight to my face cam. What the hell's going on? Alright. Oh, I look terrible. Wow, well, to be fair, I went straight from work to baseball practice and didn't have time to change my clothes, so. What up, everybody? We are going to be talking about some crazy stuff today. Apparently, Tectone got banned again. Pirate software is pissing everyone off, as you'd expect. And then we got some other fun stuff mixed in as well. Some dunking on Jason Schreier and Dragon Age the Veilguard. Although that's like... That feels like old news at this point, but it just won't die. Mahendra, you are first, and I imagine you'll be number one on the leaderboard pretty soon here. Although, to be fair, it doesn't always work that way. It's the weirdest thing. Sometimes it works in mysterious ways. The cope on some of this stuff is too good. While we're waiting for everybody to kind of pile in here, there's a not quite so significant story that we'll cover first. Hang on one second, guys. I just realized I have not done any shilling for a very long time. Alright, let me just go to my... Stop Killing Games got halted? What do you mean got halted? I thought it's still going on right now. You had a Zoom interview and you look 90. It's more that the beard needs to be cleaned up and it's just completely out of control, and it's like I push it this way, I push it that way, it just kind of goes everywhere. I don't know. Not much I can do with it. Daughter's practice went well. My son's practice was a disaster. I'm trying to help keep those boys in line, and my God, we have some personalities on his team that just do not gel well together. So his team is kind of a disaster. My daughter plays tomorrow night. The backdoor plug. Hush, man. That was a Discord only thing, man. Okay, we don't shill that to the public. You guys get first the first look at that. No, man, come on. Really? How are you doing, DB? Hope your week's been good, man. No, shilling, you guys. Nobody's buying games on Instant Gaming, which is crazy because they're cheaper on Instant Gaming. But I think I've had like one sale this entire month. So if you guys want to save yourself some money, okay, just saying, saving money is a good thing. If you go to like sites like CD Keys or what is it? Is it GTA, G2A, or Instant Gaming? Use my link for Instant Gaming first. It'll put a few cents in my pocket per sale, and it'll save you guys some money. Yeah, basically, Joe, it's like cat herding. It's basically like cat herding at this point. So, I didn't play Little League. I didn't play baseball as a kid. For me, my sports knowledge is very limited. But I've been around Little League for a while, coaching, being a parent, being a helper, volunteer, whatever. What's this revelation you speak of? Smeg, I have got so many games, I just don't even have time to play them. Probably I'm super talkative in the chatterbox here because I'm burdened in programming at the work hole. Dude, no worries, man. No worries. If we can do anything to lighten your load, giggity, giggity, or just entertain you while you're working, man, that's all I want to do. No, but like with my son's team, his coach is good. He's got a lot of baseball knowledge. He's a baseball guy, but he's not very, he's not a very authoritarian. Like when it comes to like disciplining the kids, he just kind of lets them do whatever. And these kids are bitching and fighting with each other. I'm talking all sorts of stuff, right? And I'm like, dude, no way, no way, Yeah, that 400 plus backlog saves cash as well, dude, for real. Oh yeah, no, Mahendra, I'm gonna encourage her to keep playing as long as she wants to go. The thing about it is, the minute any of my kids are no longer having fun with sports, I'm gonna tell them just to be done. Like once it's no longer fun anymore, it's not worth doing. That being said, they seem to all enjoy it, so they all have a good time with it. Geek, that coffee cup reminds me. I just finished some coffee. We had breakfast for dinner. And I did the thing I never do anymore. I actually had a caffeinated beverage with dinner. So I'm going to be up for a while. Yeah. Joe Darkness is number 1. Mahendra's number 2. Well, Mahendra, I'm sure that you'll sneak by and get number 1 at some point. So let's talk about this real quick here. Let me go ahead and go to the main screen. Yeah. Talk about something nobody even cares about anymore. Hey, Gamer Empress. I feel so bad. You've been streaming at like 3 o'clock in the morning my time, 4 o'clock in the morning my time, and I haven't caught a single live stream. Yeah, Smeg, I try to do the player management side of it because the coach, he's much more of a baseball guy, and I'm much more of a stop, being an asshole to that other kid guy. That's more my thing. So, yeah, no pressure on them. Again, like I said, when they're ready to be done, they just need to be done. Speaking of work outside the job, I'm working on a new cheap lyric video based on YouTube being taken over by MSN News and Hollywood Chills. Hey, I'm all down for that, dude. Oh yeah, Geek, I'm pulling for you, man. You'll be number 1, for real. All right, so guys, this is a fun one. This is a little bit of shade being thrown. Mind's Eye Actor doesn't like it when devs release unfinished games. Now, the funny thing about this, I don't think anybody likes when a developer releases an unfinished game, if we're being honest about it. Let's see, your daughter did modeling, and the second she didn't enjoy it anymore. Oh, modeling's got to be worse than sports, because at least with sports is a cooperative team thing, so you don't have like all the pressure just on you, right? It's not just on one person. Modeling, I can't even imagine. That's got to be massively hard on the psyche. Like that's got to be mentally really tough. Alex Hernandez. Look at that, guys. The game was diverse and nobody cared about it being diverse. We cared about it being shit. The voice actor behind Mind's Eye protagonist Jacob Diaz. Speaking of diversity, though, we really got to talk about this whole... I'm not even going to bring up Ironheart, but my mentions on Twitter over criticizing Ironheart, because I watched Kata's episode 1 review. I've watched some reviews and some bits and pieces from other people who actually saw it. So yesterday was my birthday. I'm sure I've mentioned this a dozen times at this point. I was going to stream a game last night, but what happened was my wife and I, because we have the same birthday, we were at the kids' practices till like 7:30. We went and got dinner afterwards. I didn't get home till like 8:30. We didn't celebrate the birthday. We didn't do cake. We didn't do anyone singing happy birthday. I got home. I had a headache. I was tired. By about 10:30, I was laying in bed, which I never do, right? And it's like, I was gonna put on Ironheart just to see how bad it was. And I'm like, I'm like half asleep as it is. Do I really want to punish myself on my last birthday in my 30s by staying up and watching this absolute train wreck hot garbage of a show? So I said no. BJ Day. Yeah. Not even gonna pretend that happened either. It's a possible time to stream in the morning, but then I also stream in the evening my time. That is true, but I missed it today because I was so distracted at work. You did fashion shows and your son did too, but full of creeps. Oh, for real, dude. Oh, thanks, NS. Appreciate you, dude. Yeah, see, DB Wild, he knows what I'm talking about. I'm always like, no, not today, honey. I've got a headache. The Crohn's disease is flaring up. You don't want to go anywhere near there. No. No, it's just honestly, my birthday was just another day. So I was thinking at least because my wife was going to be working anyways, I'm like, maybe I'll stream. I don't know. But no, by the time it was like 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, oh my God, I just want this day to be over. And then today wasn't much better. Again, straight from work to managing 12-year-old kids all being dicks to each other, so that was fun. Can't celebrate a birthday with your family? I mean, here's the thing. My kids and my wife and I, we went to a restaurant last night, and I'm like, I was going to tell the waiter, because at Mexican restaurants here in the U.S., they typically sing you happy birthday in Spanish and give you like a little free dessert and all that. But I'm like, my head hurts. I'm tired. I just want to go home. I just don't even care. It was just a weird day, All right, so it says game-breaking glitches and performance issues spoiled what was initially a highly anticipated launch. Dude, honestly, who was highly anticipating Mind's Eye? Nobody. Again, a game nobody had heard about. Even though the devs apologized and released hot fixes, it wasn't enough to restore public sentiment. Give them discipline. Who, the kids? Oh, the boys. Problem. I'm not the head coach, and they're not my kids. It's the 39-year-old. See, Remy knows. Remy knows I'm not 40. I know, Geek, but here's the thing. I've talked to the coach about it. I'm like, look, here's some issues. Because there's some real shit that's been said between some of the boys. I'm like, I can understand teenage boys or boys who are approaching being teenagers trying to be edgy and saying some shit to try to, just be that kid, right? I get that. But it seems like some of these kids don't know when that they've crossed the line. And I'm like, dude, there's only so much I can do. Because if I can't get him to actually bench some of these kids and get him to stop acting out, there's literally nothing I can do. Brown eye, yeah. Yeah, Blacklight, here's the funny thing. Prior to a couple of years ago, when I spent more time on Twitter covering all this random stuff, I had never heard of Pirate Software. Because I was kind of a normie, Smeg says, we share the same birthday month. Mine's the 17th, and yeah, I treat it as a normal day. I mean, we try to do something. We're big birthday people typically in my family over here, my wife and all that. There was just no way. My mom, she's out of state for my brother's wedding. He got married today. Like I said, with work and the kids having baseball practice. Yeah, my birthday was, I streamed on Monday. That was kind of my birthday celebration stream. Team captain got to step up. Well, no, it's like he knows it's an issue. He's not that guy that's gonna like discipline everybody. Because there's no W in birthdays. There's no L in birthday either, though, to be fair. And there's an R in birthday. You can work with that, right? Let's see. Became the worst rated game in over a year. Builder Rocket Boy suffered layoffs, and of course the studio is gonna get shut down. That's beside the point. Pirate Software uses the voice changer. Does he use a voice changer? I've heard him talk before. My birthday is the same as your goddaughter. That's cool. June 24th is a good birthday. I got no complaints there. But here we go. There's a clip. I'm just going to play the clip of the actor talking. But check this, guys. Check this out. Mind's Eye is down to 46 people in game. Can you imagine? Can you imagine working on this game for, I think it was like 4 or 5 years it was in development? And yeah, happy birthday to your goddaughter. That's awesome. God, 24-hour peak of 79 people. That's just crazy. All right. So from the voice actor, there's a little clip of him on this interview I'm going to play for you guys. I actually haven't listened to this yet. They don't know life, yes to drugs. See, that sounds like something somebody would say on my son's baseball team. Because these kids, I swear to God, they went and saw the Little League went and got a theater to go watch Little Big League in yesterday. So one of the parents reserved the theater for a private screening for all the all-stars to go and watch Little Big League. And I haven't seen Little Big League since I was a kid, right? But I remember there's some stuff in the movie that's kind of raunchy because it's like a 90s PG movie. So there's going to be stuff in there that's going to be questionable. And of course, all the kids are talking about the scene where gets in trouble with his mom for like watching the adult film and shit. And it's like, my kids don't even know that kind of stuff exists. So I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, all the boys on the team were like, oh yeah, he just liked the naked ladies. And I'm just like, shut up. Because of her, you feel especially old because a month before her birthday, which she turned 19, she told me she was carrying a little nugget. Oh my God. 19. Oof. That's young. Hey, Tekla. D-Gens and Empress. I like that. How do you know she's not a D-Gen too? Maybe we're all D-Gens. Used to rip Spectrum games back in the day. Nice. All right, so this is the voice actor from Mind's Eye. Let me see if I can turn the video quality. Nope, 720p is all we get. All right. Boobs. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know whether it's not a lack of QA. I met the QA testers and they seem competent at their job. But for whatever reason, the company deciding to release something that has these issues, and then sort of taking care of it post-mortem, post-release. Obviously we were not the first game.
Actually, I like that. I prefer the post-mortem thing because he's not wrong. It's like, and I guess this guy's a voice actor from Mafia 3 as well, which I didn't play, but apparently everyone loves the Mafia games. Post-mortem is kind of more accurate because once these games launch in such a broken state, very few of them come back from the dead. I mean, Cyberpunk, it's only really that DLC, I think, that helped revitalize the game. Because sure, a lot of the patches and the fixes and the hard work that CD Projekt Red put in to fix the game paid off. But I think really the Phantom Liberty, I think is the name of the DLC, in my mind is what really revitalized the franchise.
To do that, like a very notorious example is Cyberpunk, and there have been others. Mm-hmm. And as a gamer, as a consumer, I don't love that. I don't love that model. I don't like that moving forward. I'm not a business person, so like I also want to be very clear that I have no idea why that decision gets made. I will just say that from a consumer perspective, and I'm sure a lot of people feel this way, I think it does more long-term harm than good to your reputation to release something that feels like it is in a state of less than 100% and then charge 100% of the price. Right? Yeah.
I mean, this guy's got common sense. This is crazy. He's a voice actor and he's a gamer, and he's got like gamer consumers' best interest at heart. This is crazy, guys. But he doesn't look like a lunatic, so I mean, he's not a woman. He doesn't have purple hair and a nose ring, so there's that.
I think you have to be honest with your consumer. And in fact, like, I, as a player, would rather be told, this is in beta. Like, I know you've been waiting for this for a long time, but this is a beta release of this game. And so whether it's you get to play it for free on some sort of invite list, or it's $20, $30, $15, what insert price. I don't know what the model would be, but like, it's a much smaller fee. Know that this shit isn't done. No, it's not done. So please come interact with our thing, give us feedback, but no, it's not done. And obviously beta is a thing like that. That is a,
yeah, what was it, Mafia, the Old Country or whatever? The game looks fine, it looks decent. I don't know if it's something that I'm that excited about. There's other games that I'm way more interested in, but I'll probably play it at some point. The game looks decent. Plus, you know, with my Sicilian heritage, with my grandfather from Sicily, I should probably play it.
The already pre-established practice. And so I'm not sure what drives companies to essentially carry out beta testing like without calling it that.
Yeah, not a Hoyoverse actor.
I, as a consumer, would rather be told, would rather have someone be up front, because then I know what I'm signing up for.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Hook, I didn't see you there. Thanks for pointing that out, NS. Really starting to hate that word consumer. See, again, I think much like capitalism, consumer has gotten a negative connotation because of the fact that, again, we have this consume mentality in this country. Whereas when you talk about something being consumer-minded or customer-minded, it means one thing versus like the consumer meme, right? To be fair, the purple-haired women have a male equivalent and both are below human. Yes, but most of them look like Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, or some other people that we're going to talk about on the stream here.
But that's just me.
Do you think they knew about the problems within the game before they released it? Do you think they were aware that it would be the turn up?
I can't really speak to that, to be honest.
This would be an interesting interview to go back and watch the whole thing on. I actually kind of like this guy. Could easily just say gamer in this instance, though. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The reason I say consumer minded is mainly the fact that we're talking about, because you have games that are also free to play games. This is a situation where the consumer is also the paying customer. It's not just about consuming the content. It's the fact that Mind's Eye wasn't a free to play or live service game. It was a full price, regular price game, you know? Oh, actually, NS, here's the thing about capitalism, and this is why I say capitalism's become kind of a dirty word. I don't think corporatism or you know, loopholes for big corporations and CEOs who get paid, you know, millions of dollars a year when their company is failing. I don't think that iteration of capitalism is a good thing. I'm pro free markets and pro, you know, businesses being able to thrive and succeed. I'm anti-corporatism, I guess. Hey, Patriot, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, we all need to get a little bit more of that. Your last pre-order was Kazan. I don't remember if I pre-ordered Kazan or just bought it day one. The male equivalent have a lower seed count. Yeah. Well, yeah, someone says Mind's Eye releasing completely unfinished can hurt the future of his career. He has every right to be pissed off. No, I don't think so. I don't think the voice actor is going to be punished for the devs releasing a bad game. He's got a career in voice acting because he has a good voice or because he's got, you know, connections or whatever. If that's his job and that's his career, I don't think one bad game. There are plenty of voice actors. Hell, look at Deborah Wilson. She's been in a bunch of games that have bombed or been shit games. I don't think that that's going to have an effect on her career, unfortunately. All right, what do we have here? All right, we're going to dive into the Stop Killing Games drama. And I have to approach this from kind of a normie perspective. I do understand what the initiative is. The only thing is I have not been following this for eons. So there might be some parts that I have to get some refreshers on. Yeah, so I pre-ordered Elden Ring. Pre-ordered the DLC, I want to say. I did not pre-order Stellar Blade, but I did buy it day one because everyone was saying it ran beautifully. Didn't buy Night Rain yet because I'm just never going to find time to play it. Oh my god, here's the funny thing, Smeg. A lot of people are... I just saw your previous comment. Capitalism's fine. It's the regulations, governments, or red tape that F it up. But yeah, I mean, that's more my issue with it. Because, again, you tie in the effect that lobbying groups and corporations have on politicians, and then the loopholes that get made for corporations and everything else when small businesses get affected and screwed over. That's where capitalism's an issue, you know? Billy the Bass singing fish. Has there ever been a more unfortunate looking woman than Deborah Wilson? Yes, I already thought of one. Bella Ramsey, by far. So, Stop Killing Games, a petition that was created with the intent of getting, I believe it's the European Union, to take notice of live service games. And again, this situation where a lot of games get pulled off the internet, and even if you spent thousands of hours in it and hundreds of dollars on the game, you can no longer play it. It was apparently dead. It was only getting to, like, I guess it needed to get to 1 million signatures to actually go before Parliament. This is where I'm not quite sure who they were trying to put it in front of. I know that it was supposed to be presented to someone in Europe. I'm just not sure which country, which organization they were trying to present it to. I don't know if it had to do with more of like a consumer advocacy group or what. Hell is US looking... Is Us looks interesting demos out soon. Oh, Hell is Us, yeah. Lobbying groups really are the bane of everyone's existence. So it says, Twitch streamer and game developer Pirate Software is at the center of a viral online feud with fellow creator Accursed Farms over the Stop Killing Games movement. I started watching Accursed Farms' recent update video from a few days ago, but the thing is like 1 hour and 9 minutes long, and I'm like, I just don't have time. Bella Ramsey is an escaped SCP, and the government saw we were just going along with this normalization, so they didn't even bother hiding it. Maybe they have an actual link to the. Here we go. It's an EU petition. Well, let's just go through the petition real quick here, right? Craig's had him on side scrollers a couple times. I didn't know that. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they have sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends. This practice is a form of planned obsolescence? I didn't know that was a word. And is not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. Oh, there's a Brie Larson Switch 2 unboxing video? Damn. Over the past year, we have successfully escalated complaints on this problem to consumer agencies in France, Germany, and Australia, and we have brought forth petitions for new law on this problem to various countries. A list of the actions taken to date can be viewed here. As of 2025, most consumer action on this matter has concluded, and we are awaiting decisions on it from several governments. However, there are a few remaining avenues left where people can participate if they're eligible. So the other thing about the European consumer advocacy groups and all that, we've seen like with Ubisoft, a lot of lawsuits happening due to companies basically skirting the laws of what's allowed with, again, microtransactions, gambling, consumer advocacy in Europe. So there's a lot of this stuff that already exists. It's already happening, right? Yeah, Ubisoft. Thank you, Joe Darkness. Exactly. Obsolescence? Obsolescence? I think it's obsolescence. It's a standard fixture with consumer products since the late 80s. Well, yeah, so here's a prime example. Not that anybody could ever actually like take up a court case over it. Back when I was a kid and we first started going to Costco for various, products, outside of our store, we had a gumball machine, one of them giant gumball machines. We bought the machine at Costco and we bought the gumballs in a case, like 500 gumballs in a case from Costco. After the first month, Costco stopped selling the gumballs, and it's like we couldn't find anywhere else, and this is prior to the internet being really a thing, we couldn't find anywhere to buy the gumballs at. So it's like Costco sold the gumball machine, but didn't continue selling the gumballs. Not quite the same extent, because at least if we really wanted to, we could call somebody across the country and have them shipped or find a different distributor for them. But again, kind of the same idea that you were providing a good, and then one day you just jerk it off, I don't know. First one was right. Essence. Obsolescence. Obsolete. Dude, I'm done with the word. Thanks for correcting it. The way you pronounce obsolete. Just shove it. All right, shove it up your keister. This is the most powerful option at our disposal, but this is the European Citizens Initiative. But it requires a massive number of signatures from citizens of the EU countries in order to pass. Not to mention what UK is no longer part of the EU, right? So they need different signatures than the rest of Europe. If we can pass the signature threshold, there's a very strong chance that the European Commission will pass new law that will both protect consumer rights to retain video games that they have purchased and advance preservation efforts massively. So you've got the UK petition, you've got the one for the rest of the EU. These remaining options unfortunately exclude citizens from other countries from participating directly, but all other options we have found are either exhausted or already underway. It's worth stating that if there is success on this issue in a major country, customers globally will likely benefit from the changes as well due to the market forces. That's pretty obvious, because again, let's say if a company finds out, like Electronic Arts finds out, that they can't have a live service game anywhere in Europe, I don't know if they'd still develop a live service game for the United States, for China, for India, for any of the major markets, knowing that they can't, or Korea obviously is a massive country for gaming, knowing that they basically have to exclude all of Europe from that. I don't see that being a thing. Playing breaky. Made the toss, yeah, basically. So the Crew is an easy patch to turn into a single player version. Right, so Joe, that's part of this controversy with pirate software, because I have Harmful Opinions video brought up here. He had this video kind of crushes it today. He did fantastic with this video. We'll watch a big chunk of the video because I think it covers a lot of the issue of where pirate software comes in, because he has differing opinions on the verbiage of the initiative of the attempt to, you know, prevent this from being a thing moving forward. So it says the consumer-led movement aims to put an end to developers effectively killing online games. We talked about that. Increasing number of games are sold effectively as goods, no expiration date. The practice is a form of planned obsolescence. And again, I don't care if I said it right that time or not. We're moving on. It's not only detrimental to customers, but makes preservation effectively impossible. Thus far, it has put forward petitions in the UK, Australia, France, Germany. It's working on the European Citizens Initiative. Although the Stop Killing Games effort was widely positively received, another big voice in the gaming space levied concerns about the movement. So, Jason Thor Hall, aka Pirate Software, apparently had some problems with it, saying it was unfeasible and had set a bad precedent on something that doesn't make any sense. He also appeared to take issue with a remark that Ross made about using the movement to distract politicians from more pressing matters by presenting them with an easy case to tackle. Says the initiative is too broad and will damage all live service games. To sum it all up, no, I will not support the initiative Stop Killing Games. You're not going to change my mind on it because I find this language incredibly vague and damaging to the rest of our industry. So he was also talking about how apparently he's like, well, this could hurt indie developers too, and because you're going to expect an indie developer to make their live service game available offline and make it, you know, single player and all this stuff. And I'm like thinking to myself, first off, if live service games stop being a thing, I think that's a net positive. I think most people could agree that going back to being able to own your own game, even if you don't own it physically, but knowing that you retain the rights to actually own it digitally would be the next best thing. And live service games or games as a service being, you know, a thing of the past would not be a bad thing in my opinion. I don't think many people would disagree that games as a service or live service games have damaged the video game industry more than they've benefited from it. I don't know. Just getting wrong with the lease. I'm just not going to say the word anymore. I don't care. Single player games that require an internet connection need to be taken out of the back of the woodshed. Yeah. Yeah, it goes back to the you'll own nothing thing, right? The third most I know everything state. I just don't care. I'm not pretending to know how to pronounce it properly, DB. I just don't care. I'm just moving on. The word itself is not worth my time to even think about. Let's see here. It says the takeaway from Pirate Software's coverage, and I do believe that this is from Ross over on, what is it, Accursed Farms is his channel. The takeaway from Pirate Software's coverage of this is that he misrepresented what the movement is about. How intentional that was, I don't know. He sees it as all is well. It's unfortunate. I talked to him about it. If you hate the initiative, you hate it, but at least hate it for what it is. He also published a frequently asked question video on his own channel where he offered clarity on it. Now, over a year later, the deadline for Stop Killing Games European Citizens Initiative threshold is on the horizon. At the time of this article, there was only 47% of the required signatures. So there's been a massive boost because they're now over 51%. So that's a 4% increase in just the last day or two, right? Pretty incredible. Not allowed to move on. I'm moving on. We are so moving on, it's not even funny. So Pirate Software is just encouraging live service. Ironically, his name includes what many people are doing more and more these days. Yeah, obese like Frogan. Well, we'll get to Frogan, don't worry. No, so the thing about it is, somebody was saying that his dad worked at Blizzard, allegedly. I don't know if that means that he is trying to defend live service games because he feels like, you know, he owes it to his daddy to protect him, or what the whole situation is. But I find it strange that his biggest argument was, if we make live service games or games as a service something where they have to make them available even after the servers shut down, and that's going to affect indie developers, I'm thinking to myself, how many indie developers or successful indie games are there that are live service games? Like, I know that there's games that count. I'm pretty sure that you could argue that, like, that game Starship Troopers Extermination that I played is live service, if they're continually doing updates and events and, you know, things you can purchase, which I believe they are. So games like that, maybe. But in general, the majority of live service games, aren't they being made by the major companies, the major AAA developers? So yeah, we all have to thank NS for bringing up freaking Frogan and her fat ass. Never seen someone talk so confidently when they're flat wrong. The funny thing, yeah, Puppy is, well, actually, we've got, you probably can't see the cat. We got little cat here and Puppy over there. So Actually, these two will sleep closer to each other. If this was my boy cat, the second that dog gets near him, he'd be like freaking out and going, get the hell away from me. No, Pirate Software is something I've noticed about him. He sounds like freaking Howard Stern when he talks. I don't know if it's just like the sound of his voice or if it's the voice plus the long hair. Anytime I watch a video that someone's talking about Pirate Software and then you hear him talk, it just freaking reminds me of Howard Stern, and then instantly I'm like, yeah, gross. I would like Genshin to be cut loose, then it becomes EOL. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there are so many live service games that, I don't know, that it does present a really interesting problem, right? This entire conversation about live service games being, especially ones like Apex Legends or Rainbow Six or any of these games that people, Valorant or Counter-Strike, any of these games where people sink thousands of dollars into the microtransactions and into the cosmetics, and you go, you're dumping that a lot of times into a free-to-play game where you don't own a copy of the game, not even in name, not only, like, even though you buy a copy of a Ubisoft game and they tell you, well, you don't really own it, you have a license to use it, right? At least you feel like you own the game in that situation. With freaking Apex Legends, you're playing a free-to-play game. You don't own shit, right? So people don't realize what a massive risk it is when you start dumping money into these live service games for all these loot boxes and everything else. It's like, you're not going to have that moving forward if they decide to pull the game offline, right? Feed them chemical toxins? Well, yeah. Like let's see, you haven't met my ex-boss, have you? Yeah, no, I mean, ex-bosses, ex-wives, anything ex tends to all kind of have the same connotation to it, right? So it says a year later that the signatures have only hit 47%. Ross placed some blame on Pirate Software for Stop Killing Games' failure.
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not.
Oh shit.
I like to be. Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be. Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked.
NS is somewhere doing this with his hands right now.
Liked.
Smeg with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, dude. Appreciate you, man. I have an acquaintance who plays gacha games. He knows he dumps way too much money into it, but he's got an addiction, trying to help him get away from gacha games. Push-ups over waifus. I didn't have time for any push-ups today. The USA, we have brown foreigners run for president. They did a rug pull for the $2 billion medicine that didn't even work. Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Ramaswamy. Stopping pumping up Korean money pit games as a service to humanity. I agree. I think that's fair. Perhaps the only reason I still kind of respect World of Warcraft, I dumped a good chunk of money into that way back, and I haven't played for over 10 years, but my stuff's still there. Okay, so my equivalent, and thanks again for the 5 gifted, Smeg. My equivalent would be, I didn't play World of Warcraft, I played Guild Wars. And with Guild Wars, I purchased the games, the expansions, so I physically have discs. But again, if they decide, I think it's NCSoft, I can't remember what the name of the company is that was hosting the servers that developed the game. But if they decide to pull the game offline, my physical copies of the game don't do dick. Now, if the game has an offline mode, which I don't think it does because it's an MMORPG, but if they ever decided to completely shut down the servers, I imagine they would just enable it so you could play single player because you can have your henchmen and your heroes and stuff, so you can fill your party full of NPCs. Sometimes that happens when you're playing with real people, is if you're still playing with NPCs. NCSoft, thank you. Yeah, I spent like 2,000 hours in 1 year just on those games alone. They could probably make it fairly easy to just play it, again, single player. Sports games also are becoming live service games. Matt, dude, the sports games are terrible. FIFA is one that I cannot believe the amount of money people just dump into that, right? Like some law they would pass in Canada. Yeah, NCSoft did do City of Heroes. You're correct about that. I just never played it, you know? Oh my god, I'm just catching up on some of the shit you guys said. Anyways, Ross placed blame on Pirate Software for Stop Killing Games' failure in this particular venture, uploading a YouTube video on June 23rd where he accused him of lying about what the movement really is. This is the video that was like an hour and 9 minutes long. He said this video came out right as we were building momentum, and except for one boost in Germany, the signatures started dying up like clockwork. This put me in a no-win scenario. If I ignored it, then a lot of people would get misinformed about the campaign, and if I did a response video, it would look like drama farming. Ross argued that due to Pirate's large following, his videos criticizing the initiative discouraged people from signing it. Oh, it ends on June 31st. Yeah, it's dead in the water. Yo, I got a Twitch bot trying to sell me viewers on streamboo.com. No. Hey, you got a membership on your main channel. There you go. They knocked down City of Heroes. It's really funny because a lot of people I know, actually, Moxie Dame over on her channel on YouTube, she used to stream City of Heroes. I don't understand the game. From what I saw of it, it didn't look enjoyable to me, but whatever. Someone summed it up best saying, former Blizzard dev is mad about gamers going after big corpos. So is Pirate Software a former Blizzard developer? Because somebody said that his daddy worked at Blizzard. Did he also have a job there? Pragmatically, what would keep a small developer from releasing server codes if they were closing it down? I don't know. It's a good question. I have no idea. Again, I'm not going to claim to know the ins and outs of how this stuff would work. All I look at it is to say, for the sake of for the sake of indie developer, we must protect major corporation. I've got a problem with that. His dad was, and he did too. Well, that makes more sense now. That makes a lot more sense. Says, to this day, I'm still getting... Oh, sorry. This is, I think... To this day, I'm still getting frequent comments and emails about the same falsehoods about the campaign that originated in Hall's video. Now I have nothing to lose. If we don't get the signatures, none of this matters anyways. A slew of other top game-focused creators like Moist Critical, some ordinary gamers, have spoken out in favor of Ross and the Stop Killing Games movement. There's a lot of video games I grew up playing that I love that I continue to love, some ordinary gamers. So again, a lot of people shit on Mutahar, and he's kind of a meme in himself sometimes. But one thing I will give him is he is a big believer that we should have games preserved and, again, have physical copies available of games, FIFA lost out because they asked for too much control over the game, internal and external, so suck at FIFA. EA wins for once. Yeah, EA's got to count their wins where they get them. So, this is one from Pirate Software on Twitter. God, that's a long post. Holy crap. I don't know if I want to read that entire thing. Good God. Okay, maybe we'll just read it real quick here. Cough, switch to... dude, okay, so somebody... Larry Bundy, he's got a YouTube channel. He follows me on YouTube. He's got a huge channel. We follow each other on Twitter. I saw him posting today talking about the MIG switches on the Switch 2. Basically saying you're an idiot or a retard if you buy a Switch 2 and then you use a MIG switch and you complain about the MIG switch bricking your Switch 2, it makes you like an idiot. And I want to disagree with that because I think personally the Switch 2 and Nintendo are already being super scummy and greedy with how they're doing things. So I don't see why it is an issue to be able to back up your own games that you purchase with your own money. I don't see why that would be an issue.
I love you. This many dollars.
Text wall crit, yeah.
Was up, Minimal. Sorry that I missed your birthday stream.
Oh, you're good,
what
dude.
What did I miss? That day I was playing Palworld. One of the best games I've ever played. I want Pokemon to improve, but I love Palworld.
Man, I downloaded Palworld when it first came on Game Pass, and I was genuinely enjoying it. The thing was, I preferred Valheim, and I felt like there were elements of Ark and Valheim in Palworld, and then of course it had like the Pokemon-looking characters. Well, I remember seeing a mod when Palworld first released where you could actually play as Ash and they did a skin of the Pokemon over the frickin' Pals, right? And then, of course, that lasted like 5 minutes. And they were like, nope, that's gone. But no, the game is really good. The game is good. It's enjoyable. And thanks for the 10, dude. You didn't have to do that, man. No, Palworld is a genuinely good game. It's a bummer that they've had it so rough, given how Nintendo has been trying to shake them down for money. But no, it's a good game. I know a lot of people have enjoyed it. My kids played it a lot. They really thought it was a good game, for real. All right, it says, been reading through all the posts again over my stance on the Stop Killing Games initiative. Tons of people calling me a liar or that I misrepresented the initiative. Also, lots of content creators dogpiling on this to get their pound of flesh. I guess I'm trying to get my pound of flesh tonight. I don't know. This is my first time I've actually ever covered Pirate Software on a stream or a video. Dude, what are you doing? NS... No,
do I
bad.
need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be. Do I need to
Cloud
be liked?
Strife.
Absolutely not.
That's the official
I like
Cloud
to
Strife YouTube
do I,
account. That's
do
crazy.
I need to be liked? Absolutely not. Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not.
He's emptying the bank vault again. I know, Patriot, dude.
Enjoy being liked.
Take away his credit card, man.
I have to be liked.
You got to steal his wallet from him. NS with the 10 freaking gifted memberships, man. Holy crap. His family jewels. Art Software looks like he's into furry costumes in his spare time. I mean, as a Blizzard employee is not shocking. After drinking a lot of coffee. I mean, dude, I had a lot of coffee today. I had a lot of caffeine. But like I said, I had to deal with mean, edgy, snarky, obnoxious 12-year-olds all being dicks to each other for 2 hours after work, so I needed it. NS, man, thank you for the 10 gifted. You didn't need to, but I appreciate you guys. He says, let's dig into what I actually did and said. I put out 2 videos on August 6th and 7th. Videos are linked at the bottom. Many people have not watched them, calling me a liar. Give the videos a watch, read the initiative, make a conclusion. Monetization on these videos is disabled, so this is not some ploy. Okay, I don't care if you... Like, that's one of those things. I don't care if your videos are monetized or not. You made the video, you're allowed to monetize them. I just care about the subject, have rightful concerns. First video, I go through what initiative is, how it's not law. Starting point for the process. I then go through the initiative, and I'm skipping some lines here, guys. I then go through the initiative and some of its goals. I talk about the repercussions. As written, all games need to be left in a functional, playable state. I bring up the crew, the sequels, the size of the player base. I did this because it's called out by the initiative as an example. I also harshly critique Ross Scott's wording. Lawmaking process, lawmakers, doesn't benefit players or this movement in any way. Second video, I talk about potential scenarios where a studio could be abused. It adds new paths for abuse that need to be discussed. I explain that very few people in the game development space can actually discuss this from other side due to the fear of losing their job. To recap, my main issue with this initiative is that it's broad in its approach, and the exact language of the initiative, not the FAQ request that all games stay in a functional, playable state. What's wrong with that? I don't understand what the problem is with requesting that they stay in a playable state. There you go, NS. Patriot needs a sugar daddy. Just saying. It's not feasible for all games at a technical level. Could potentially restrict developers from making online-only games. Okay. Again, why would it restrict people from making online games? MMOs and MMORPGs, you could make, again, offline modes if you had to. If you know going into a game that you're required to make an offline mode in case you decide to ever shut down the servers, you just know that going into the game. I mean, I don't understand why that would be more of an issue. I don't know. More tangible method would be consumer pressure rather than legislation, which will never pass, by the way, right? He's a Nepo baby narcissist. Why not try to help fix the issues instead of shooting down the whole cause? Oblivion, if you could lift Cloud Strife's sword, then you're more jacked than the rest of us, you know? That's a little oversized. Let's see, it says... Effectively, this has the potential to restrict future developers from making kick-ass experiences. It's an initiative that can change in the future. This goal is core to the mission and deeply disruptive. To clear up some disinformation, I left AAA in 2016. I hate how the industry is now and how they prefer, and I prefer indie entirely. I don't like Blizzard. That's why I quit. Screw AAA. Outside of that, I'm not financially supported by live service games. I make a single-player RPG and the director of strategy for off-brand games. In that position, I'm paid minimum wage. Okay, you're paid minimum wage on your own RPG that you're making, but you're still making tons of money on your other things like YouTube and shit like that. So, I can't see a reason why a live service can't have a server release if they're shutting off the game. Ideologically, I have reasons, but not pragmatics. Check Discord later, not on the stream. After your comment about being straighter than the pole strippers dance on, I don't think I want to open any message from you ever again. What are you doing to me? Dude, I'm going to be like having one eye squinted and the other one completely closed as I'm opening your DM. It doesn't take much to make a game have private servers, and people in the industry know this. That's what I would imagine Black Cat, but like I said, I'm not going to pretend to know more about game development and server hosting than I do, which is absolutely nothing. I'm just looking at it going, I imagine if you went into making your live service MMORPG, live service FPS game, knowing that down the road you'd have to make it still available if you decided to shut down the servers, I can't imagine. I mean, look, let's take Apex Legends, for example. Would the experience be the same if the Battle Royale part of the game was gone? No. But if you still made it to where people could host local area network parties or private lobbies or offline where you play against bots or whatever, as long as you still left those things available, then I don't think, again, that would get them off the hook, right? Sure, if the Battle Royale mode or the arenas mode or any of those kind of limited time modes went away, but they still offered you something, that would probably be an easy workaround. Visit FitGirl and you can get a lot of games that are live service without needing to be online. Am I even allowed to talk about FitGirl on YouTube? Just saying. Oh, it's unrelated. NS says it's unrelated. I don't know if I trust that or not. Let's see. To further this, the games we're publishing are all playable offline anyway. Then what do you care? Then what do you... Okay, no, I've not been running away from discourse on this. I talked about it for around 8 hours on stream. I never took my videos down. My internet also died mid-broadcast, so I had to go live again 30 minutes later. For those that scream he's doubling down, yes, I am. I give a shit about this initiative and what it means for games developers and players. Just because I don't support this doesn't mean you should blindly follow me, and that just because I said pretty words on the internet. You shouldn't blindly bash me because of some creator said to. Watch the videos I put out, read the initiative. No. He's not in it for profit, lame. Oh, man. So, we also have, I guess this is a message from Pirate Software to Accursed Farms. Is this a Discord? No, this is a Twitter message, it looks like. FitGirl's a benefit to humanity. I know of FitGirl. I've just never personally used FitGirl for anything. Oh, hey, the ego baby is making this whole thing about him again and making himself the victim again. I cannot believe how unlikable this man is. It's actually astonishing how little self-awareness he has. Anyway, stop killing games. With links, of course, to the petitions. And it's from Pirate Software. It says, "What's up, Accursed Farms? I put out 2 videos disagreeing with your initiative 10 months ago and haven't talked about it since. Now your initiative has failed and you're blaming me for 33 minutes of the hour-long video covering it. Your community's out in force shitting up our streams and socials with hate messages, threats, and snide comments." Oh no, not the snide comments, whatever you do. No, don't ever give snide comments. "Since you're so set on cutting up my responses into pieces to try to make me seem unhinged, I'm going to drop my videos here. To show the actual context, there's also a massive pinned FAQ on the first video. To quote back to you, if you're going to hate me, at least hate me for what I'm actually saying. The only engagement I've seen is that that is level-headed has been from Louis Rossman. His video breaks down what I disliked and tried to meet in the middle with a conversation that made sense. As such, I engaged with him on that video as screenshotted below. I'm fine to talking to people that are level-headed about this and can have a conversation, but to be real, dude, every time you've been involved, your orbiters turn shit toxic instantly and it sets me off. Your community is effing rabid and it's shit to deal with for anyone on the other side of the argument. Why do you think I haven't talked about this in 10 months? Why do you think we auto-mute anyone bringing it up in chat? Because it's been rage bait and shit-flinging the entire time. Your own Reddit had people openly talking about causing drama in our community to try to stir up more support. I still disagree with your movement. That's unlikely to change, and at this point, I am more than fine with that." Yeah, I mean, shut the F up is pretty much... Yeah, we all remember you for running out of Dire Mall and effing your... Yeah, no, dude, for real. That's the first time I really paid attention to Pirate Software was months back when he was streaming with Asmongold and some other people. I think he was with Asmongold playing World of Warcraft, right? And he was the one that, like, roached out and ditched his own team, right? Has anyone ever seen Pirate Software ever acknowledge or accept being wrong? I don't know. I've never, other than clips that I've seen, I've never actually watched him on anything. Yeah, in less than 24 hours, the most viewed video for Stop Killing Games has gone from peddling misinformation, which I assume this person means about, Pirate Software, to Moist Critical's video supporting it. If you're in the EU or the UK, the UUK apparently, please support Stop Killing Games. Pirate Nation says publishers shouldn't kill video games after we buy them. Stop Killing Games as a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games that they've sold to customers. An increasing number of games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date. Just again, a kind of a quote from the actual initiative there. Do I have this tweet? I think I've got this tweet brought up here. No, I guess I don't. Oh, this is the one we already read. So this person, Hokuto Notism, whatever the hell that means, says there's multiple things wrong with how you effed with the SKG topic. They never said all online games need a single player mode. That was explicitly never a goal. Trying to claim it would require a full rebalance for every playstyle was a straw man you made up. Trying to fearmonger about indies being affected doesn't make sense because indies aren't the ones shoving online-only elements into games. Thank you. That's kind of my thought on it. It's like, oh no, Vavra is still a liar, and regarding certain things and the way he handled KCD2. You're correct about that, Tekla. The game itself it wasn't the thing that so many people made it out to be. But at the same time, the entire controversy around it, like I said, it killed any enthusiasm I had for it. I'll go back and actually play KCD2 at some point. I think I'm going to dip out before you reach Frogan's gravitational pull. No worries, NS. Thanks for the 10 gifted, dude. We're slowly creeping up on Tectone's part of this stream, but we will get there at some point. Have a great day, dude. Really appreciate you. Let me see here. It says they're almost exclusively the territory of AAA, which absolutely have the money and resources for end-of-life plans, of course. SKG is basically asking for protections for fan servers, restoration projects, etc., basically cementing the practice that kept tons of older MMOs alive, making an official option that companies can take if they themselves can keep a game running, or can't keep it running. Hey, Mahendra, welcome back, dude. Let's see here. They never once claimed that every game ever must be brought to life and kept alive forever. Ross himself clarified they would only exist for games going forward, and it doesn't have to be official support, just releasing the tools for fans to do it themselves. This is another big one here, guys. This is another thing, because if it allows for, let's say, fans to mod the game or create servers themselves with the tools that are necessary to actually create an offline mode, let them do it. Again, this is one of those situations where you go, if you're not going to keep the game going, let somebody else take it on. We know AAA companies pay attention to fan projects and servers. It's why WoW Classic was a thing and how MOBAs even started in the first place. Blizzard looked at fan creations and decided to make them official projects. AAA doesn't want to keep games alive because it gives them the chance to essentially revive dead IPs, sell them back to people, creating a cycle of FOMO and getting their hands on any ideas made by fans that they can exploit without having to pay for them, but monetize. The Crew is explicitly a case of Ubisoft killing the first game to force people to play the sequel. If there were options to keep the Crew alive, then less people would want the Crew 2, which is basically just more of the first game. This is intentional. Again, I think this is 100% accurate right here. Hey, Dark. And who else just dropped in? Susano, how you doing, buddy? No, I think that this is a very accurate way of looking at it. If you put restrictions on what companies can do with online-only games, there will be less online-only games. And why would that be a bad thing? Why would somebody be against AAA companies just throwing out online-only trash to swipe people's money? Not important, but I'm convinced that LLM are preying upon highly intelligent peoples due to their nature being that of overfitting. Yeah, interesting. LLMs, what are you talking about? Smeg, I'm not gonna use the word. I'm not even gonna pretend. I know that one of the times I said obsolete. Now again, you're gonna get me to say it, and I'm not gonna say it. I'm not saying the word. LLMs, what are we talking about? You're gonna make me look this shit up. Large language models. Oh, okay. See, you're talking about things that I don't. That don't. Okay. I think ChatGPT or Copilot or Grok. Oh, okay. You just saved me having to look it up. There we go. Also didn't mean to derail this. No, you're good. It's just my brain went on a whole different tangent. I'm like, LLM. I should know what that means. Conan Exiles has an offline mode. Not great for multiplayer since it requires that the players remain close together and can't wander the map alone. But for solo, it's great. I mean, I think if they knew moving forward that when they create a game that's in live service or an MMORPG or something, again, that's going to have an online lifespan of a certain point, they just need to design it with offline being an option. If they do that from the get-go, There's no shock, no surprise, none of this, hey, we didn't plan for this, that's not fair. So this is from Harmful Opinions. This video was pretty damn good. I actually listened to it at work earlier. Figure we can kind of jump through some of it. I'm not sure how much. There was a part of it that was really pertinent. Actually, there was a part of it where Pirate Software was talking about it in the video. But I'm just going to play and we'll kind of go from here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to be honest with you. I am incredibly disappointed in Ross of Accursed Farms. Despite his disarming Hyraxian countenance and endearing extreme conflict aversion, I can't let this slide. Let me show you.
Thor here has been the #1 voice on the campaign, and he's been lying about what it is. That's a bit loaded, though. In this case, I'm using the second definition of lie. I have no evidence it's the first.
Terrible take, Ross. Your kind and gentle spirit has clouded your vision. It's clear, unless you're a total sucker, that Pirate Software was doing the first. 2 points here. Firstly, while my intro criticism is a joke, I do genuinely think if you're going to be dropping accusations...
See, I never got into Conan Exiles. My experience with those kind of games was Guild Wars, and I was part of a massive guild at one point. Like, this dude took it so freaking seriously. I think guilds in Guild Wars had a maximum of 50 members, and so he had what was essentially an empire of guilds. He owned like 10 guilds across 10 different accounts, and then he had like managers and everything else. The dude took it way too seriously. He was like a former army pilot or some crazy shit, right? It was absolutely insane. I was part of his guild for like a week, and I'm like, yeah, these guys are nuts. Like, I just want to play the game. I hear you with the crummy servers these days. For a while, I rented my own server to run on with only a handful of friends. When we tired of it, I dropped the server and only offline play now. Pirate Software managed to just not read the words of the petition somehow. Not aimed at online games, which is an inherent problem that favors their development. I mean, Conan looked good to me. I just didn't have time to get into it.
Of lying on someone, it's gotta be that they're deliberately practicing deception. This second definition thing is a bit slippery and doesn't even apply, because it clearly relates to the metaphorical characterization of things that don't have intent. Though some would disagree, Pirate Software is indeed a person, and not just a thing you can interpret and mislead yourself with. Second point about this, he's totally doing the first. I understand Ross's hesitation and his stated reason being,
I have no evidence it's the first.
but actually, yes, you do. See, if you want concrete, empirical evidence of someone lying, you'd have to be able to read their mind. You'd have to be able to show that they did absolutely mean to deceive, and that it wasn't a slip or a mistake, that they didn't forget something or misunderstand. YouTube doesn't...
He's anti-gamer? I mean, he certainly seems that way from what he said. I can no-life games, make a game that's mine. I wish I could actually make games. I've been toying around with the idea of picking up like those RPG makers, but at the same time, it's like I don't just want to make like a little pixel game and all that kind of shit. I'd like to understand how game development actually happens and works, not just the obvious, oh, I'm just going to make a little, you know, top-down action RPG or something. Thor's an active troll that brags about trolling his audience. The one talking is Harmful Opinions. He's a YouTuber.
Doesn't yet have a built-in brain scan function, and yet we can still fairly call people liars. How is this possible? Well, it's this wonderful little thing called deduction. You look at a collection of facts and you draw a conclusion from them. And
well, he's a bald guy with glasses and a British accent, so he sounds and seems extra smart because he has the British accent. Actually, I like most of Harmful Opinions videos that I've seen. I have only been watching him for off and on for about a month or so.
If that conclusion is reasonable, you can go ahead and state it to the world. Like this. I think Pirate Software is a liar. Now, why ever would I say that? Several reasons. Let's go through a few of them, starting with the one I think is the most fun. So, in a very tiny nutshell, Stop Killing Games is what it says on the tin. They don't want games to be snapped out of existence when publisher support ends. There are multiple reasons for this, but in the case of their current
You are first, Mahendra.
They are pursuing a consumer rights angle. They want live service games to have some kind of end-of-life plan.
He said about 400 words with no objective takes. Fair point, fair point. The intro is pretty long to this video, unfortunately. Thor's spurging out because he thought he would have to comply even though it benefits live service games. That's why he's a moron. Start with RPG Maker. See, that's the thing. That's what I've been recommended is RPG Maker. My son, he's 12, and he's been off and on messing around with Unreal Engine, but I don't know that he's quite got a grasp of like how to really use it. Yeah, it's about Thor's noise on Stop Killing Games. Yep.
And when they shut down, they don't want it to just evaporate. They want it to be
Set the video to
something
1.25. I think we could probably even go 1.5, since this guy has got that good British accent to where he actually enunciates his words. Let me try 1.5.
left to be negotiated. In other words, they want to mandate that
Nah, that's too fast. That's too fast. Unless it's like the quartering. Oh my god, guys, we could have done an entire stream on that quartering video he did a couple days ago. That was the most unbearable, embarrassing, cringe shit I've ever seen in my life.
going forward, games have some sort of contingency plan to prevent them from being wiped from functioning existence, if they're at risk of that. Now here's the fun part. Did you know that Pirate Software, before even looking at it, guessed correctly and was afraid that that's what it would be? On April 7th, months before he published his first video about it, he was asked about Stop Killing Games.
Check out Accursed Farms on YouTube or his website, Stop Killing Games.
So I'd be really interested in looking into this. The thing that I'm worried about at the outset is wanting to put any type of legal framework together to force studios to have a contingency plan for games that are live service games. This is the concern that I have.
Months before he made his first video, he
You bet he'd pronounce it properly. You mean my son? No. My oldest kid he is smart in his own way, but he's not book smart. He doesn't like his grammar sucks. He's the one out of my 3 kids who I can't get to read. He can read, and if it's a book he wants to read, he'll read it. But I don't know. He has a hard time actually sharing his thoughts in an intelligent way. Sometimes he's got a very, very bad grasp on grammar and vocabulary. So, care to explain each of them? In detail? Well, we're going through the Pirate Software one right now. The TLDR is that they're trying to get a petition to go through in Europe to stop allowing publishers to yank games that are live service or, that exist from people's libraries in order to protect the customer, right? And Pirate Software has denounced the initiative, so he doesn't want any part in it, right? It's a false argument in context. I was actually talking about doing the video. Oh, I'm sure he could pronounce the word better than anybody. To be clear, this started out from what I know from Ubisoft pulling the crew. Yeah, that's kind of like the long and the short of it. Yeah, see, Patriot, I don't have time to read them out in the books. I don't have time to do shit, pretty much.
He stated fundamental opposition to any law mandating any kind of Plan B for live service games. He is fundamentally opposed to the petition in its essence and at its core. He then states that he will be looking into it.
So I want to go research it first, because everyone's been talking about this.
And elaborates on why he's against any kind of mandated contingency plan.
Mahendra, there's a reason that they presented it as a European initiative. I'm not sure what the exact reason is, again, why they chose Europe instead of the United States. I don't know. It's already illegal in the US? Oh. I didn't realize that it was. The same reason Americans have dog shit for food that can't be sold anywhere else. Oh, man. You're not wrong there. Yeah, like Patriot, tomorrow night, I have to somehow get enough work done that I don't completely screw myself on Friday, so that Thursday, again, tomorrow, I can leave work, come home, round everybody up, and get across town 45 minutes, an hour away, to get to my daughter's softball game, which is going to go till probably 9 o'clock at night, win or lose, and then not get home till 10 o'clock at night, and then start my day all over again the next day. Because Europe would affect more of the games industry. Tectone got banned on Twitch again. And this time, people are saying it's because of Denims and Hassan and all the other orbiters that Hassan has. And then, of course, Jason Schreier defended Dragon Age Veilguard, and the writers came out and said, nah, he's full of shit, we love the game that we made. So that's kind of the TLDR, but we'll get to each of these. Business with my suppliers. Basically, we are still fighting with this trucking company that still has possession of multiple pallets of product that haven't been paid for, that they want me to pay. I think at one point they came back and said if we pay for 3 pallets instead of 5, they'd bring it back and have us, pay for that. Then they came back and said, well, no, if you're not going to pay for 3 pallets, we're going to charge you for like 3.5 pallets. It's insane. It's not resolved yet, dude. It's absolutely nuts.
Because I don't want, and this is the real one, I don't want the government telling indies that they have to have their live service game stay online forever. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. But when you're talking about a legal setting to force people to do this, you're generally moving in that direction.
He's scared of the slippery slope. It'll go in the direction that people be forced to keep their games online forever. Specifically, he says he's scared for the indies.
You get a whole lot of these problems where there's like smaller games, and everybody's focusing on the big juggernauts. They're like, what happens when World of Warcraft goes away? I want to play World of Warcraft. But you're not thinking about how this could impact everybody in the space.
He keeps talking about the little guy, but again, I don't think it has anything. Pallets, like, when you're shipping freight, you put everything on a wood pallet, and then you obviously wrap it, pack it. Forklift picks it up, puts it into a truck. Pallet, like a 4-foot by 4-foot wood pallet. Yeah, pirate software, live service, blah blah blah.
Space, just the big titans. Everybody wants to stick it to the man, and they forget that, well, the man is not the only man on the board.
Agree or disagree, noble enough? Worried about the costs this adds for the little guy might stop people from making live service games when they otherwise would. So over the next months, he goes off, does what he said he'd do. He's going to look into every little bit of stop killing games.
A whole bunch of stuff. We see every little piece that they're talking about.
And before making his first video about it, he certainly saw Ross's Europeans Can Save Gaming video, because he quotes it. In that video, Ross compares the loss of games to the loss of films.
And now most films of that era are gone forever. That's very similar to what's happening to video games today. It's just a terrible practice for everyone involved.
Multiple of the examples on that page he pulled up to show us what we've lost and what we lose are MMOs or otherwise online multiplayer games. Further
yeah, skid. Skid's another word they use for it. 30,000 view stuff isn't real. This is an older video. I made quite the annoyed comment with his bad take. Whose video? Are we talking about Pirate Software or Harmful Opinions? Because this is Harmful Opinions videos from today.
to that, he claims that the initiative would apply to free-to-play games that have microtransactions.
This would also apply to free-to-play games that contain microtransactions. Because if you purchased a microtransaction as a good, then the game is made unplayable, well then you just lost your goods.
The intended scope of the initiative is clear and is reflected in the petition's text. Given that he must have seen this and more, I think it's pretty bizarre that his very first comment on the initiative, in his first static video on it, is this.
The reason why I have a problem with Stop Killing Games is specifically it starts the wrong conversation. If we're trying to kill off the practice of developers putting together a live service game, pitching it as a single player...
Am I crazy? The guy sounds like Howard Stern, right? Like, I'm not just hearing that myself. It's not just the fact that he's got the long hair. It's the voice also. That's already the framework in the EU for digital goods. Oh, no worries, Empress. It's all good. They don't have to keep games up. If they just made the game available to host one's own game, then that's the best end-of-life plan. Well, again, if it's in the actual petition that you just have to make it to where your game is available, like the tools are available for people to make your game offline compatible, then again, that doesn't put anything on the developer or the publisher. That just means you have to make that available to somebody who wants to do that. It sounds like a pompous ass. Well, that too. That's also Howard Stern. Bought some items in a Star Wars Android game from Redacted. I got my money back after contacting the selling store and telling them they're shutting the game down. 1.25 speed. He does sound like Howard Stern, but he's not Jewish. It looks like Jeffrey Dahmer with long hair. At least I'm not crazy about him sounding like Howard Stern. I thought that was just me for a second. You thought it was a woman? It's kind of an effeminate dude, isn't it? It was never about killing off live service games. He's being disingenuous. Yeah.
Experience and then taking away support in the future. This ain't it.
Correct. It ain't, and it's not meant to be. But he later further asserts that that's its supposed purpose.
Doesn't call out the specific practice that this is supposedly trying to defeat.
It cannot be claimed with any credibility that he believes what he just said is true. He is being willfully deceptive. He was lying. Pirate Software is a liar. And why would he lie? Because he knows exactly what it is. He knows exactly why they're doing it and what they want.
The Crew wasn't a live service game you can play offline, but Ubisoft made the game unplayable due to always online DRM. Oh, interesting. Question is whether or not the Stop Killing Games plan is as well thought out, but Pirate Software opposes the game's period in his other comments. Like how Assassin's Creed 2 was always used online DRM back in 2012. So this guy's inside of Pirate's head. I don't know. That's a good question. He'd make a lovely transition except for the voice. I don't think any of them make lovely transitions, dude, to be fair. I've seen quite a few of the hideous ones. He's speaking to intent and purpose that's very dishonest. That's a fair point. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with everything Harmful Opinion says on this video. I just thought it was... He had a lot of these video clips from Pirate Software, so that's why I figured it was worth taking a look here.
I mean, months ago, he was scared that was the case. He wanted to smother it.
It's hella old.
He knew it.
It's hella old, but it just blew up the last 2 days. Like, literally everybody is covering this right now. Like, this video that we're watching has like 70,000 views in less than like 10 hours. It's a massive topic. I think Asmongold's covering it right now, or did today, I'm pretty sure. Blair White looks enough female for a guy, which is a tragedy because he was a good-looking guy. Don't even get me started on Blair White. Don't even. Just, no.
It had barely any chance. It's not his fault if it fails, but it is his fault it has practically no chance. Now, if he destroyed something he didn't like honestly, fair play, respect, but he didn't. He instead decided to employ a more effective tactic. And what tactic is that exactly? Well, iDub should look into this, because this is a genuine example of what concern trolling actually is. Instead of tackling what he disapproves of head-on, Pirate Software has constructed a fake problem. To be clear, he addresses issues he has with end-of-life plans for games, but he pretends that's an accidental side effect of them messing up the initiative, instead of it being exactly what they're trying to get. This framing is incredibly important. And
Blair White's another mentally ill dude. I don't know what opinion I could have on him. I don't think Blair White's based just because he votes Republican. I think he's another mentally ill degen.
Powerful. It allows him to present his arguments against the initiative as evidence and proof that they're doing things wrong, instead of as his opposition to their movement, which it actually is. You see, he's here to help. You want to do this thing, but the initiative won't get you that.
In the niche cases where a studio is trying to sell a game as if you are buying it or purchasing it or using that language specifically, and they give you a live service game instead, I agree that should change. That language should change. You are not purchasing the game. You are not buying the game. You are paying to have a license to a live service experience. I get that. Is that what this is doing, though? The initiative is not trying to call that out specifically. It's trying to say that all games need to stay in a functional, playable state, which is not calling out the language that is being used to manipulate.
This is the thing about Pirate Software's argument. At this point, I've heard him say so many words and so many different things. I don't even understand if he knows what his position is on this entire issue. I don't. An accidental side effect needs reference. So many claims being made. He's more worried about live service than single-player games. Well, right. And again, I think the live service angle is just one aspect of it. Now, it's a very large piece of it. But ultimately, it comes down to, again, consumer advocacy, which, again, I think is a very well-intentioned point of view. His voice is just white noise. I have no idea what he's been talking about. That's what I feel like right now. All right, Geek, I should probably have had another cup of coffee, even though I'm already over my caffeine limit at this point. Pirate Software is becoming annoying. Nobody likes live service games. I mean, people enjoy playing certain live service games. The issue is that when you start looking like you're shilling for a corporation, when you start looking like you are defending the corporation and not so much just, trying to be objective about something. Again, it's that whole, nobody likes a centrist, right? Even if you have different opinions on different things across a political or an ideological spectrum, and you go, well, I'm more conservative about this, but I'm more liberal about that. And there are people who have lots of varying opinions on very different topics. The reality is nobody likes somebody who comes across as a shill or a fence sitter or somebody who's trying to be a centrist so that they don't offend anybody. It's like, it's one thing if you truly are a person who finds themselves in the middle more often than not, which is very rare. Very rare. Not very many people are like that. It's another thing if you're one of those people that always has to be in the center of something. And they don't want to ever offend anybody, so they figure if I exist in the middle, you know, then that way they can always, like, you know, try to appease both sides. If you watch the video, it's more straightforward, but still just hosting a game to be downloaded and playable offline for the people who bought it or sending it to a national library or something costs little. Yeah, Pirates being ideological, which means nothing pragmatic, harmful opinions and making claims, and Pirates bad. I don't think either have said anything concrete. Fun seeing Thor in the news as always. I mean, it was a lot more straightforward the last time that he was kind of in the news cycle. Before or after the whole World of Warcraft thing, there was something else like a week or two later where it was like pirate software bad. But really, that whole World of Warcraft stream was really one of the biggest ones. Pirates weak sauce, not steak sauce, but weak sauce. He must be an EA employee. I don't know. Pirate sounds like he's agreeing with the big names. Big name life service model is actually standing for the... Hey, dude, no, I said I'm not repeating the word. I'm not. I've embarrassed myself enough trying to properly pronounce the word today. But again, Pirate Software seems to be blocking anybody criticizing him on Twitter. Rock solid, it's got this meme. Relevant again. My daddy worked at Blizzard, you're killing live service games. Oh yeah. I guess he blocked Rock Solid 6 months ago. Absolutely cracks me up. Here's the thing, like, I don't block any... The only person I've blocked recently is, like, the people who are in my DMs, like the spam bots, crypto scam botsers, and, you know, that kind of shit. He's been promising updates on a game he's making, but really isn't, just pushing little bits of code around while the game streams daily. People are mad. Oh, sounds like him and Grumps should be hanging out. What's a running gag now? Oh yeah, that shit. No, I'm not doing that. That's gonna be our word of the day the next stream. I'll throw that word in like 12 times a stream. All right, Oblivion, no rush, dude. All right, so moving on, we've got the Tectone ban. His dad was also Neckbeard Basement Dude in South Park. As like a parody of his dad, or did his dad actually do the voice acting for the character? My wife says, please don't be up late. Well, we will see if we can wrap this thing up in about 30 minutes or so. Shouldn't be too difficult. I think any live service that offlines should publish the server binary just personally. Again, I don't see why that'd be a problem. Pirate Software's game is much smaller in scope, much smarter about his promises, so Grum's comparison is often scale not in kind. Fair enough. That is a fair point. I don't know anything about Pirate Software's game, but what Grum's game was promised to be, it's like when you compare what we've seen with what was been delivered so far, it's like, holy shit. His dad is actually the guy they modeled the South Park character from. Tectone is a former streamer that was part of OTK, you know, Asmongold's little, what do you even call those? Streaming groups, clans? I don't know. I don't do like the whole esports or the content house kind of shit. Anyways, Tectone is a guy, has been fighting with Hassan, he's been fighting with Frogan, he's been fighting with Denims. He's been fighting with all like the weirdo lefty freaks on Twitch for a while now. And every time he criticizes one of them, he gets banned. So Frogan can say, you know, she hopes soldiers get PTSD. She doesn't get banned. She jokes about, you know, doing a 9/11 stream and building a cake to look like the Twin Towers. She doesn't get banned. Hassan, he can say whatever the hell he wants. He gets banned for like a day. This guy criticizes any of them. He gets banned for like a week, right? Cult, yeah. Cult is basically what it is. Grubs basically promised a AA game. Pirate only promised an indie eventually, but did promise weekly updates and failed on that. Isn't that crazy? Here's the thing. so much of this comes down to motivation and willpower. Because so many things in life, like if you are trying to write a book, not things that you have to do, like go to work and put on your pants and brush your teeth, but things that are something you're trying to create yourself, whether it's a game, writing a book, physical fitness, trying to get back to the gym and getting more dedicated with that, right? So all those things require a tremendous amount of like dedication and self-motivation. So these people that are like, I'm gonna make a game, but it's not their primary job because they're not an actual game developer per se. It cracks me up how, or like comics, like Ethan Van Sciver with his like 5-year late comic book or whatever. It just cracks me up when people don't need the money and there's other things they can do to make money that they seem to enjoy more. Those things never get delivered. They never happen. You bought a copy of Friends of Mineral Town for $10 on Monday and lost an entire day of productivity to it. Turns out I like cozy farm games. Here's the thing. I'm not typically a fan of like the cozy game. Yes, DB, you have to put on pants. I'm not usually like the biggest fan of cozy games, but there are a few in the past that I've actually found and like, I could probably play this for a while, get kind of lost in it. Tech sent a massive doc to Twitch with clips pointing out that he's been called, all sorts of things and nothing's happened. He called Frogan fat and gets banned. Also, this most recent Twitch ban was for calling a few of the women that are whores, legitimately whores, I guess. Although, here's the guys, you want to talk about something crazy for Twitch? All right, so currently I'm streaming on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, and Twitter. Although I don't know why the hell I even stream on Twitter, right? But I'm on all 5 of those platforms right now. The only one that consistently tells me I have to change my stream title because it goes against their terms of service or their code of conduct or whatever, and I don't put any like curse words in my stream titles. I don't do anything sexually explicit in my stream titles, nothing like that. Twitch consistently tells me I have to change or edit my stream titles. I had to do it tonight. I had to do it the last stream. I had to do it the stream before. It is the most backwards platform to ever exist, okay? He said she doesn't like being called a whore. She shouldn't do OnlyFans. Right. Again, a very normal take. It's a very normal, I would say, well-adjusted take. Says that he had a 2-week ban from Amazon cut short. He then later returned to Twitch as long as he stayed on good behavior, which apparently he didn't because now he's banned again today. He was on the receiving end of a 2-week Twitch ban. He confirmed on social media that his 2-week suspension was over after a few days. Now, again, Twitch is consistently, with their big content creators, because they need the money really bad, they don't keep these bans enforced for very long. Definitely, like Hassan, he'll get a 3-day ban cut down to like a 1-day or a week cut down to a 1-day. Tectone's was a 2-week that they cut down massively, but that was honestly pretty surprising. He didn't actually call her a whore in the video that was... No, he said it on Twitch, or on Twitter. But the problem is, Twitch has this terms of service that they've always had, that they will ban you for off-platform conduct. I've been seeing videos of this retard guy, Mango, who was at a Smash Brothers or Mario Kart tournament with all these other retard girls. Emily, Extra Emily, I've seen her floating around on Twitter. This guy, Mango, I guess... the guy that had organized the event knew he was an alcoholic and got him drunk anyways. Guy comes out in his underwear, like in his boxer shorts. The girl that's next to him, in front of him, has like a toad mushroom hat on. He holds up a mushroom hat in front of his dick and he starts like humping it, right next to her face. And everyone's like, oh, he's this awful guy. Sure, the guy's a retard. He's an idiot. But apparently the organizer of the event got him drunk, knowing he was an alcoholic. And all this, like... These people are just, I don't know. Twitch is a whole different thing. It's a whole different animal. But like these people that are the content, people that live in like these content houses and go to these events, they're just like some of the worst people. So many dysgenic looking people. They don't enforce it on the commies, so I guess there's major favoritism to those Terry. I mean, yeah, for the most part, the commies, the lefties, the LARPers, the like Frogan, who's a fat white chick who LARPs as a Muslim, she doesn't ever have to like deal with Twitch bans or anything like that. It's the craziest shit. It's like watching the ugly people fight, right, basically. So that kind of brings us to where we are today. It's been announced that, of course, Tectone has been banned. This was from 5 o'clock tonight, so just about 7... Can I do math? 6 hours ago. It's only 11 here, so 6 hours ago. Tectone's like, what the F did I possibly do this time? Well, then this one came out an hour later. It says Tectone reveals why he was banned on Twitch for 7 days and alleges that Denims and her community reported him. This is a little 3-minute video. We'll let him say it in his own words here. Cattle Country, pixel art farm sim. See, again, I could probably get into that, but my patience for cozy games is probably limited. You watched him on Kick earlier. He went through all this. I haven't seen this yet.
You'll never guess why I got banned again, guys. Do we have any predictions? I would love to know. I would love to know. Who do you think got me banned yet again? Yep. There it is. That dumb bitch who's getting her ass sued, and I can't wait for.
And he's, of course, referring to the Ethan Klein lawsuit because Denims, Frogan, and Casey Tron. Oh my god, Casey Tron is the most unfortunate looking person. She's probably... Well, then again, it's self-inflicted. Bella Ramsey's always been a freak as far as how she looks. Casey Tron, it's been a lifetime of, like, bad, diet and definitely smoking too much weed. So, kind of like Tectone on Boxing Ring, but every rule's against him.
Her ass to get permit. Yes, I have been mass reported by Denim's community once again for calling her a whore. Wow! Amazing, amazing. And you know what's crazy? I didn't even call her a whore this time. That's what's crazy.
I don't know. She's worse than a stoner. On Ethan Klein's video where he announced that he was suing her, he actually added up the minutes from her reacting to his video where she was smoking weed versus talking, and she was spending more time like hitting the bong as far as total minutes than she was actually talking in her reaction video. Bella wins the Downs Award. It's not even Downs, dude. Bella Ramsey, it's like fetal alcohol syndrome gone bad. Wait, she lured in her fans at the start of her stream with flashing the camera? No way, man. That's no way. All right, Patriot, have a good night. She did that on Twitch and got away with it?
Crazy. That's what's crazy. I got banned because she said she was upset.
Number 3, look at that.
She was being called a whore. And then I said,
oh, when she first started streaming, okay.
If you don't want to be called that, don't have an OnlyFans.
Mama took math.
So I didn't even call her that. I got banned merely for saying if you don't want to be called that, then don't have an OnlyFans. Is that not fucking insane? And in case you're wondering...
Well, I don't know what else it could be for Bella Ramsey. She is such an unfortunate looking creature. And the funniest thing is the rabbit hole about Bella Ramsey is like nobody even knows who her mom is. Like her biological mother doesn't even exist, I guess. I don't know.
Wondering, well, Techie, well, maybe you shouldn't be saying that. You're right. Oh, and by the way, I'm taking you on a journey here, right? There's levels to this shit, and I need you guys to understand how fucked up this is about to get. So, here we go, guys. So, the woman, in case you missed last time I got banned, which is about 2 weeks ago. Wow, story time with Techie.
No, Bella does not have an OnlyFans. No. He's talking about Denims. Bella Ramsey has nothing to do with this. She's just a weirdo actress. He's talking about Denims. So, the 3 women that Ethan Klein is suing. Casey Tron is the fat stoner. Frogan is the fat Muslim LARPer. Denims is the one that's moderately attractive, although honestly, Denims to me looks like, I'm not even going to say it. She apparently has an OnlyFans. I don't know. Only Potato. Yeah, they found Bella Ramsey on Only Potatoes. Exactly.
There's this girl called Denims who keeps on calling me a sexual predator, a abuser, a guy who beats women, and she's called me a rapist. Her buddy Hassan has called me a familial obligated rapist. Do you think they got banned? No, soy dora. They got nothing.
I guess the backstory on Tectone is when his dad was in the military, there were allegations against his dad of assault and all that from women. So again, Not defending the guy's dad, or what he did, but that's where the claims that it's a familial obligation come from.
They got zero punishment. Fucking zero. I
Fellas, your
explained to
type.
them why they're being called that. I get banned for 7 days
Well,
again.
have at it.
I've even tried to clean up my language when talking about this. But apparently, I can't talk about Frogan. I can't talk about Hassan. I can't talk about Denims. I can't talk about any of them. Yet they can run my name through the mud 24/7.
You know what's funny, Joe? The really funny thing about it is I don't think Frogan is as fat as she is just like she's not like grotesquely obese. She just has that I have no self-control and I just have that fat, round, lazy face. Like she sits on her ass all day long pretending to be a Muslim while she has like a layer of makeup caked on her face.
Now, I believe, a little bit of tinfoil hat here, a little bit of tinfoil hat. I believe that there might be some preferential treatment going on for Hassan, Denims, and Frogan. I might believe that anybody pushing extreme
very
leftist
chunky
agenda,
face.
these extreme libtards on the internet, I think someone on Twitch agrees with them. But then, that was my thoughts.
When she did that that content cop where her and the other retards in the video are like doing the Fortnite dance behind Hassan, Frogan isn't that big. Like obviously she's got like the freaking burqa shit on and all that. She's not that large. It's just that she's short with a fat face and she's kind of compact and chunky. She's just haram. She is very haram. Oh, Frogan is screwed. So, yeah. Old Indian guy with his 2 sons and one of them owned a Riri girl and kept her on a collar and leash. Huh. Twitch is doing this to encourage more drama? You think? All right, so this is hours before the Tectone ban today. All right, this is Hassan. This is retard Hassan. I'll make myself disappear for a second.
Why is Tectone's egg ass trying to say you ruined your life, Lamau? Why are you openly admitting that you watch the rapist child of a rapist? Like, what is wrong with you? Generational sexual assault. Who gives a shit, dude?
That's funny. I thought Hassan would be in a better mood today, seeing as a Muslim communist is now mayor of New York, but apparently not. You need a lot of beer for those goggles. Well, the thing is, again, if you really want to get down like the Twitch rabbit hole, Dan Clancy, CEO of Twitch, he personally watches like all the titty streamers, the hot tub streamers. That's like his jam, right? That's what he's into. How's Tectone not suing all these people? Because he doesn't need to, I guess. I mean, he's already got Ethan Klein, who's going to take these 3 women for all that they have. Maybe suing Hassan, that could be an angle. But the thing is, he's making shitloads of money. So I don't know if he really cares enough. Like, I think it was Susano said, or somebody else said about the drama. Tectone, he moved to Kick and got a shit ton of money. So, oh yeah, Hook. No, it's that Muslim socialist communist dude who apparently got elected mayor of New York. So it's very interesting. He's already got Eric Adams. Is Eric Adams the guy? I can't remember what his position is, but apparently they're already fighting with each other. I guess I don't know. It's like liberal on liberal violence. Let's see, it says, after Hassan called out Tectone for generational SA, some people are pointing to Piker's alleged best friend who has far more serious accusations on his name. Ex-analyst in insider trading case faced misconduct allegations at Harvard. Former Goldman employee and ex-Simpsons writer Damilar Sanoiki. How the hell do you pronounce this name? Who pled guilty in the insider trading case, denied the misconduct allegations. Let's see, it says, before his fall from grace, 27-year-old kept a darker secret. Just before he was scheduled to graduate, he was accused by several women of misconduct, including allegations of rape. According to people familiar with his college and work career, he denied the allegations. This guy apparently is a buddy of Hassan Piker. That's funny. I'd never heard of this guy before. I don't know if there's actual proof that he's buddies with them, but interesting. Okay. Then you got Caseytron. Here's Caseytron. Okay, this is a good one. She's the most hideous looking person. Like, okay, it's fun to make fun of Frogan. Like, that's an easy slam dunk. Or Bella Ramsey, those kind of faces. Hassan went to the Diddy parties too. Yeah, but Diddy's gonna walk. I feel like this Diddy case is falling apart from everything I've seen. You know. Imagine going back in time and telling New Yorkers your kid's gonna vote for a jihadist. It's really sad. It's really sad because like my granddad, my Sicilian granddad came through Ellis Island in 1904. And it's like, it's just a shame what New York has turned into. So you've got Nux Taku asking Caseytron if she has any evidence for this allegation, and if it's this defamatory, you should sue me. This is her on what looks like this. What day was that? What is this? 16/2? Is this day then month? Is that how my Twitter's set up? Weird. Tectone is a grapist who got his start being platformed by a neo-Nazi. So this is a claim that she made. And then she responded by saying, now more massive incel content creators are joining on the crusade to completely defame me, claiming I've falsely accused someone of it. They know that incel men take great enjoyment out of seeing women suffer. They've made a career out of it. He says, I do take enjoyment when people push allegations with zero evidence. Her retarded ass says, I take enjoyment out of getting incels angry. He says, you misunderstand. I'm enjoying your downfall immensely. Why did you delete your last tweet? She apparently said, cool, then maybe you should look into how Destiny falsely accused Bob7 of being, again, a rapist. Make a video on it. Basically saying, again, that she could be accusing Tectone of something knowing it's false, but again, she doesn't care because it's Tectone, right? Look at London Stan, yeah, pretty much. Since Caseytron stopped taking drugs. You guys saw her response to the entire thing about Ethan Klein's lawsuit, right? Yeah, man, I don't remember reacting to that video, man. I was so buzzed, man. I was so high. I don't remember. And of course, you know, being stoned off your ass is not a defense when it comes to copyright violations. Says, I didn't think Minnie would get the reference. I just find it funny how incels claim that I've falsely accused men of that, when literally the most hate I've ever gotten was when Destiny tried to falsely accuse Bob7 of that. I've defended men from false allegations. Says, if you're so keen on defending men from false allegations, you should look into this. It's because his ex-wife was sending Bob spicy pictures. Interesting. Madam Zavi points out, if you're so keen on defending men from false allegations, by this phrasing, she knows she's lying. If she had left out the false allegation part, it could be interpreted differently. Also deflects which videos were made. She has yet to provide evidence, but apparently she doesn't think men are worth defending when it comes to false allegations. Yeah, this shit's getting insane. The baked defense, right? Oh no, so apparently I don't watch Caseytron's content, so I wouldn't know. Apparently the incel thing is like 90% of what she says. I don't know if you guys watch Rev Says Dezu, because he covered a lot of this stuff over the last couple days. Caseytron, like incel and Asmongold are the two things she talks about the most on Twitter, like it's her most used term. Either she's talking about Asmongold, talking about incels, or talking about Asmongold and incels. Like that's apparently like her most talked about shit. Clearly they haven't talked to lawyers first. This is all evidence, that is. I don't think her man can defend himself from his weed addiction. Yeah. Talking about GTA character. She's something. She is really something. It's so easy to be an... What are we talking about that for, man? One country with this many different nations inside it is getting a little overboard. Yeah, no, the US is definitely in for hard times. It's getting out of hand. Can I just say that it's all degenerate, including the attention put on it? Yeah, so this is the funny thing. Hey, Joku Gaming on Rumble. How's it going? It's going. She does that because she doesn't follow the content she's supposed to be reacting to, right? No, I mean, again, this is the entire problem, is she doesn't have an intelligent opinion to offer on it. So all she's going to do is deflect to the same, oh, everyone's an incel. Everyone who doesn't like me is, you know, this terrible thing. H-Tron isn't very attractive. I guess the takes makes sense in context. No. She's just absolutely hideous, to be honest. Like when you overuse an insult, everyone becomes woke or an... Yeah, exactly. When everything is woke and gay no longer mean anything, unfortunately. Good times are coming? I hope so. Last time I played Spider-Man Remastered, only Spider-Man cared about New York. Yeah. Alright, so let's quickly get through this last topic. I'm sure many of you guys remember this gigantic expose, this massive article from Jason Schreier back on June 11th, right? Oh, thanks for the raid, Joku Gaming. Appreciate it. This massive article from Jason Schreier. Oh, nice beard. Yeah, the beard grows itself. It's self-growing. This was, again, from June 11th, so what? A whopping 2 weeks ago. Early November, on the eve of the crucial holiday shopping season, staffers... This is a lot of exposition we're not even going to talk about. Basically, the long and the short of it, Jason Schreier goes through this massive article talking about all the problems that Dragon Age Veilguard had, right? The first big gravestone for GG2. Yeah. Spider-Man on GameCube. I don't think I ever played that. Hey, AOA General. How's it going, dude? Schreier to the rescue. Oh, wait, it was the cell phone. Jason Schreier, the same man that wanted to say that basically, oh, yeah, you know, Dragon Age Veilguard to the top of the sales charts. Best game ever. You know, it's a financial success. Own the chuds, right? What comments were censored, Oblivion? Oh, you put comments on that video. I see. Okay. You were talking about pirate software. Yes, go woke, go to the top of the charts, Schreier. Exactly. Exactly. So that was kind of his entire take, was that Dragon Age Veilguard destroyed the chuds, it destroyed the narrative that woke games suck, right? But in reality, it didn't prove anything. Because the actual writers for Dragon Age Veilguard came out recently and told him it's not that the game was rushed. It's not that the developers or the publishers made us do anything we didn't want to do. It's that this was everything that we wanted to do. And you're an ass for not realizing that this was the best Dragon Age we were capable of making. Except that it was gay and bent like a Chinese infinity sign. Yeah, except that. So here's a screenshot Madam Savvy shares, and this is from Brian J. Audette. I have no idea who this is, but it's on Blue Sky. It says, reposting without comment, and this is talking about Jason Schreier's article about what really went wrong with Dragon Age Veilguard. Reposting without comment, except I refute that we made a bad or compromised game. We made the best version of what we released, warts and all. I'm damn proud of it and the team. We could not have made a better Dragon Age, only a different one. This person here, Trick Weeks, I know that person's name. I was so lucky to get the chance to work with you, man. Cannot wait to see what you make next. Likewise. Senior designer at Motive on Battlefield 6, previously Dragon Age, Anthem, Star Wars, The Old Republic. Yeah. So again, the funniest shit about this is the writers themselves coming out and saying, yeah, you got Michael from Legacy Killa saying, Jason Schreier writes fluff piece that blames Dragon Age Veilguard being bad and failing on EA interference. BioWare devs responds, actually, we made the best game we could and we're proud of it. Amazing, just amazing stuff. Jason Schreier gave them an easy out to protect their reputation as devs, and they're like, no, we really are just bad at writing and making games. Legendary Drop says it wasn't a bad or compromised game. We couldn't have made a better Dragon Age. You're totally right. You made the best game you could have, the best version of something nobody wanted, which is why you lost your job. Yeah, it just kind of all goes hand in hand. Hey, Dr. Pyrostane. Yeah, he made what he wanted. Best Dragon Age you were capable of, maybe even then. Yeah, of course they're on Blue Sky. They're always on Blue Sky. I like that these devs admit that they're incapable of doing better. Hey, Tomcat. Yeah, I don't know who gifted that to you, but both Smegs and NS were here gifting memberships earlier. Mental illness, level 1 flags, level 2 pronouns, level 3 Blue Sky. Blue Sky really is the new pronouns in the bio. Actually, I had one today when I was criticizing Ironheart, right? When I was criticizing Ironheart, there was this person that responded basically, we didn't make it for pale people, or go back to your pale problems or whatever. In their Twitter username, they have their Blue Sky username. And it's like, anytime you see that, it's basically the new pronouns in the bio, is every time, you know? Weeks is they, them with wife and kids and teaching that to his children probably. Yeah, I knew the name Weeks and I just couldn't remember why. Better to say I messed up and own your mistakes. Yeah, the thing is they won't own their mistakes though. Most of the time, these people never will. She yelling at the dog or one of the kids? I can't tell. They said that. Well, again, this was one of the writers on the game that said this. The funniest one, though, and I kind of wanted to end on this. I don't know if you guys know anything about Wonderfield Games. This is apparently, it looks like a tabletop game maker, I imagine. Wisconsin-based creative studio, small business, founded in 2018 in Orlando, Florida. Looks to me like again, more of a dice rolling tabletop type game, right? So these are the founders right here. This dude on the left is, you gotta watch the video for yourself. It's unbelievable. So just only let people who respect an IP work on it, even if it's just professional. You're a big tabletop game nerd? Well, joke. Unfortunately, tabletop gaming is in a bad state. It's been going that way for a while with, you know, Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer and all that. Would you stop chasing the cat? Come here. Come here. Get up here. Come. Stop chasing the cat. That's what your mother's yelling at. You're being bad. Yeah, don't lick me. You associate Blue Sky with CP and CP consumers? You know, Mando, more often than not, if you actually look at or watch like the Predator, like Predator Poachers, Alex Rosen, anytime, like 9 times out of 10, they contact them through freaking Blue Sky anymore, it seems. It's crazy. Why are you licking, dude? Tabletop's replaced with smartphone. Yeah. You know the name, not what they do at the moment? Well, apparently what they do at the moment, this is from the co-founder, co-creator. So if you go to their Twitter page, today they were having a totally normal day. They are reposting anybody criticizing them. And everything that they got into today was all political about Americans, why they have to erase white people, why they have to present, again, a future where the US and white people don't exist, and why they're featuring black women predominantly on all their artwork. This is from one of the founders today, okay? This is just beautiful. Just Blue Sky is the P word home. Yes, it seems that way for sure.
Yeah, it's me, the guy that started the new TSR. It's true. I had a license from the owners, right? And Ernie offered it to me, as did the owners at the time. And I rebooted it, and it sort of became this kind of magnet for white nationalists, Trumpsies, the new.
For white nationalists and Trumpsies. This man unironically starts off this video saying that, okay? That's just how he starts.
New Fourth Reich Nazis, Trump supporters. Yeah, and frankly, all MAGA supporters are Trumpsies. They might not want to admit it now, but the second time they voted for him, they knew what they were voting for. And we're seeing it. It's affected my life deeply. My family.
Yeah, Citizen Cast on Rumble, you know, Vikings were black originally. I am so sick and tired of that argument that the indigenous people of Europe were actually darker skinned and they became lighter skinned over time. It's like, dude, stop. It's like, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about how Vikings and Scandinavians and blonde, blue-eyed people were actually black to begin with. If Trumpsies were white nationalists, I'd be mainstream. Right, so at least in the case of some of the artwork I'm seeing, this guy really sucks. In the case of some of the artwork I saw, at least the black women seemed like more attractive physically than the crap that we're seeing from Marvel and Disney.
Family is Hispanic. My family is made of immigrants. My family is made of immigrants all the way back to the birth of this country, serving under General George Washington.
We was Roman
My family
emperors.
actually extends prior to that as well as Native Americans.
Oh, thanks, Citizen Cast. Dude, most of my followers, most of my viewers are on YouTube. But I always stream. Every time I stream, it's always on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitter, and then occasionally Twitch and Kick as well. But I'm always on Rumble. It's just the quieter of the platforms for me.
I always considered that American. And then this happened, really these past 20 years. The GOP made a strategy book for how to steal elections here in the United States with the election of George W. Bush. And it's just sort of continued. They destroyed the public education system. And now we have the Gestapo working for the biggest criminals of the highest order on the face of the planet.
So Quillpig, when he's talking about how his family fought under George Washington, he said he had Native Americans. So he's, I guess, Hispanic and Native American. So he's probably talking about the Native American side of his family. But still, regardless, it's a bunch of bullshit, whatever.
In my own country, it's scary. It's truly frightening. On a level that I don't think a lot of these bigots that thought giant lands and Wonderfield were for them, when in fact isn't. I was trying to create something different because as a person that was always a different color and a sort of a different mentality than all those around me, I wanted to make something different.
Wait. So if he's of a different mentality than all those around him, then what he's saying is that he truly is like the outsider and everyone else has the same opinion. So maybe you should consider moving if everyone around you has a different opinion and everyone around you sucks and everyone around you is a Trumpsy or a bigot like you really believe. Like he starts off the video saying how disappointed he is that white nationalist, Trumpsies are playing his game.
I wanted to make the kind of game I always wanted as a kid, where people like me were seen. And I didn't see a lot of myself in the original TSR stuff or even a lot of role-playing game supplements.
Yeah, he's as much Native American as Elizabeth Warren is probably.
What I did see was a lot of white boy fantasy. Let's face it, I don't have problems with it. I have some white boy in me too. Some people might say it's a majority of me. But I identify myself as an American from a melting pot.
Wait. So he's admitting he's white and he's saying some people might say that I have mostly white in me. How can I tell you what your own freaking ethnicity is? Like, holy shit, this guy is insane.
And I always loved having many cultures in my life.
Yeah, his voice is shaking like he's about to cry,
religions, having friends of many faiths, colors, shapes, sizes, origins, nations, creeds. And what's happening now is exactly the opposite. It's unpatriotic and un-American. As you can see, it makes me sort of upset. This is a dry run. I didn't write this, but I thought it was a good idea to try to set things straight. My business has been in ruins for, 2 years now. I don't think I've sold JDA. And that's all right. I don't want to sell to these people. Going through this process, really over the past 4 or 5 years, has been incredibly disheartening to the point where I'm not really interested in making games too much anymore.
Good, then stop, then don't. Holy crap. Oh my god. But yeah, no, again, this is somebody who, you can tell by the eyes, this is somebody who's mentally unhinged. And I don't know if these people are born this way or if it's something that develops over time. Like, I know that the whole TDS thing gets overused, like Trump derangement syndrome gets overdiagnosed. I would say almost like how much everyone's autistic, everyone's got TDS. It's like, okay. But these people are genuinely like not well people.
I tried to make them for everyone.
Groomer vibes.
All that happened was my game became a flashpoint of hate that destroyed my...
Yeah, Citizen Cast, he co-founded a company that makes tabletop games.
Much of my life, my professional life, I was canceled from the internet by both sides. And let's face it, fascism is not a problem that's unique to these awful people who now basically rule Twitter, X. It's a problem on the left as well. Anytime that you try to regulate what people can say, think, or how they feel, you were on
this whole rant's making you soft. Good. I don't want you at attention when you're looking at my face, man. I'm sorry.
So sometimes I play devil's advocate, and I like to sort of egg people on, both for PR and just sort of the trickster in me, right?
Oh my God, he's such an edgy boy.
That's how you get people talking. So it seems people are talking about this. And yes, in the future, there will be no white people because white people never existed. Color is an illusion. Race is a lie. That's why there is no race in Giant Lands. No race in Giant Lands because race is a myth, right? Sort of like class, right? Also a myth. These things are perpetuated by people that are living centuries ago to try to maintain some kind of sense of superiority over people of color.
Okay, if race is a myth, and class is a myth, and none of this is real, I'm so confused because today I've had tons of people, black people on Twitter, telling me that Ironheart wasn't made for me. I'm not supposed to watch it. I'm supposed to stay to my side with the white people and watch the white stuff. So how is it possible then that it's a myth, but it's I'm so beyond confused at this point. You're like a 5-year-old in an old man's body, yeah.
I just won't accept it anymore. And no, I don't need your business. You don't give me any business anyway.
Blacks are a social
so
construct.
Please to find your own way. And
yeah, racism is defeated. There you go. Oh my God. Yeah, no, so like the Twitter posts, this one here said Malcolm X had it right. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. It's one reason we feature an ethically mixed, not ethnically mixed, an ethically mixed black woman on the cover of our first Giant Lands book, which takes place in a future North America. And the thing is, like, again, as far as like the female body goes, they did a good job here. This one here looks fine as far as, again, like curves and all that. But again, why is it such a preoccupation to need to make her ethnically or ethically diverse or ambiguous, right? Again, so they say Larry always tried, talking about Larry Elmore, Larry always tried to sneak in people of color into his TSR art. Sneak in, I don't think you have to sneak them in. Though he was often denied his attempts to make D&D less white. If your primary audience and customer base is white, why would you try to make it less white? So he decolonized the RPG and made a future where the USA and white people don't exist. Somehow, again, that's not racist. Sadly, it was picked up by bigots and attacked online as the opposite. In fact, some reviewers accused us of having no people of color at all. In fact, it was inspired by this 1993 issue of Time, The New Face of America, How Immigrants Are Shaping the World's First Multicultural Society. A society now being destroyed by the most powerful criminals the world has ever known. Oh boy. So guys, you can add this wonder-filled company to your list of companies to not buy from. Again, I don't personally play tabletop, but again, they posted 14 before this video even came out. Trumpsy losers like this is what killed our business. They live in some off-white fantasy of reality. We won't serve them or theirs. They're not welcome at our tables. They bought the books and didn't realize the promise is that they and their kind are finally gone from this earth, so help us God. Like, holy shit. Oh my God. If anyone knew Larry, he never sneaked in anything. How the hell is this a good thing to say in a post? It's not. These are just people that are truly insane. This man has lost his freaking mind, okay? Somehow being so obsessed with politics and Trump has completely made him lose the plot. So again, Grums tweets about it and he retweets Grums because he thinks it's a good thing. Well, that's an interesting comment. I'm not going to say what he says here. And he says, the true color of X. Could you sound any more effeminate? You're a failure. Oh, just wait until I put on a skirt. I'm pretty sure the guy had to have been wearing a skirt in the video. Truth is, when Giant Lands began, we thought we'd maybe sell 100 copies of our box set. We've sold over 20 times that, so we're good. It sucks that the community online is so full of bad actors, bigotry, and hatred. Don't believe all these windbags. However, with 12 ghost accounts posting hate in between OSR RPG posts, the community remains the most welcoming gaming community we've ever been part of. Hypnotic, who, by the way, is Hispanic, says, you literally just made a video saying your business is in ruins. Is this the cope session now? Is this the I'm fine, everything is fine part now? What a joke. Yeah. LOL, the comment below, I'm glad we killed your business. Well, no, Mahendra, you were first at one point, but now you're back to being first. Oh my god. It's just like, this guy, it keeps getting better and better the more you read.
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
I don't understand why white people hate themselves.
You know, it's a good question. It's a great question. It's typically like liberal white women who hate themselves, but it's scary. It's crazy. I don't think anybody should hate themselves because of how they're born as far as their ethnicity goes. You have no control over that. But here you go. He says, we can totally agree on this. Race and racism is dumb. And thanks for the two, Lugia. In fact, it's worse than that. It's plain stupid, a scientific falsehood disproven long ago. So why bother including it? To make you feel better, here's your violin. I don't know what the original post was. Page doesn't exist. So whoever posted something got themselves banned. This is what Fox News does to viewers with their lies. And then they've got something with the booty temple. I don't know what the hell that is. We believe games, make believe, and play can unite and heal hearts, nations, and the world in this time when so many are hurting. Some good old-fashioned kindness, dice, pen, paper, and imagination go a long way. Remember to play and have a wonder-filled day. You just literally told people that you don't want white people or anybody who disagrees with you politically playing your games. You called half the country Nazis, said how it's a good thing that they were trying to decolonize and get rid of white people in D&D. And now you want to talk about healing the world. Yeah, the lunatic liberals, the basement dwellers, the Karens. Yeah, those are the self-hating white people. Let's see. I hate myself for perfectly individual reasons, not because of my skin-based classification. Exactly. If I'm critical about something about myself, or if I hate myself for anything, it's going to be for something that's worth hating myself for. Not something that I can't change or had no control over, you know? Man, absolute psychos. So he followed up his video and says, in fact, the subjects of violence and racism and their relationship to the RPG we love has been a topic of study for me because it's a very personal story. I've seen firsthand how a close friend, went from passionate RPG compatriot in boyhood to white nationalist mass murderer in adulthood. Oh, so he's friends with mass murderers. That's cool. Games don't cause violence, but as media, they can affect users in deep and personal ways. So Giant Lands was my chance to make something different with the people that made me. There are no white people in Giant Lands or people of any color because for me, those constructs don't exist. Alone as race in my game. I like to imagine a future America where we're all blended together into one tribe. No, thank you. That's why I chose Species and Jim did my bidding. I was his boss. I didn't like hearing it. Yes, boss, because he was and always will be someone I look up to. Growing up, we had a dream here in the USA, one where we wouldn't have racism anymore. I thought we'd be there by now, and yes, it's my duty as a designer to do something about it. I always put messages in my work. I'm an artist. Thanks for your interest and support, but after 5 years of seeing so much hate from various accounts, specifically here and elsewhere, where I've had enough of it. All right, so there you go. I appreciate that, citizen. Normally for me, Rumble is very, very, very quiet. I honestly don't even know how many viewers I have on Rumble right now because all I have is the chat box popped open. Because I use Streamlabs for streaming, and it doesn't have any direct integration with Rumble yet. I feel like eventually that'll happen. We'll see. They're a very tiny company, under the $5 million mark. Yes, I hate myself for my inability to pronounce certain words, like obsolescence, califragilisticexpialidocious. Friend of his was a white nationalist mass murderer name because there's been two. He just so happens to be friends with one of those two people. Right, exactly, Hook. That's kind of like one of those things, you know, where there's been so few. We should be able to identify who this person is that he claims to be friends with. Yeah, don't lecture them about it on their own time. Exactly. I work in I've been in the same family business I've had with my family and now that I own for 20 plus years, 30 plus years of experience working with my family. And when a customer buys a product, I don't care what their political affiliations are. I don't care what their ideologies are. I'm just selling them a product. You know, you make the best damn product you personally can. That's it. And then you move on to the next customer. By the way, the game Giant Lens is shit. Oh, thanks, Percival. I didn't have any knowledge about it, so I'm glad that we actually have somebody in chat who has personal experience with it. I certainly wouldn't be looking to pick it up and give them my money. So, oh, thanks, Citizen Cast. Appreciate you. Build your own cities and don't let anyone in unless they're the same culture as you. That's kind of what I feel like these people are doing. I mean, Tekla, don't get me wrong. I feel like that is what they're advocating for, but somehow... Oh, camera just shut off. Somehow... they're not racist when they do it, you know? It's only okay when they do it. Yeah. Alright, guys. It is getting late, though, and the wife is desperately asking me to come to bed, so I'm going to end it right here. Dude, it was awesome for an impromptu stream. You guys were fantastic tonight. Again, we got some action on Rumble tonight for the first time in forever, so I appreciate all you guys over on Rumble. Of course, I'm going to try to be back on Friday. Maybe we'll do a game stream. Maybe I'll actually try to get a video made at some point. But either way, guys, this has been fun. It's been a good one. I mean, yeah, Geek, I don't think any of us have actually heard about it. Come on. All I heard about this was because of this insane dude. Oh, Smeg, she started cracking the whip like an hour ago. I'm already in deep shit as it is. Yeah. I like this guy too, Citizen Cast. So, for anybody watching on Rumble, every video that I make on YouTube, both channels, I upload both to Rumble, and then I live stream on Rumble too. So, everything that I do on YouTube is on Rumble as well. So, if you prefer Rumble, I do all that on Rumbles too, as well. So, it's all available in both. It's content. Yeah, it's something. It's something, all right, Susano. All right, guys. I do have to dip, though. It's getting late. Wife is mad. I need sleep. I am out of here.